In the immortal words of Stained, the greatest rock band of the 90s,
It's been a while.
since I uploaded a video. I've had a script for a video about Blade and Sorcery's new update finished for over a month now. I've recorded said script, and right now it's sitting in my video editor waiting for me to add footage to it. The problem is, I just don't want to make that video anymore. I don't think I've completely abandoned it. In fact, I'll throw the script up here for anyone who cares. I just couldn't bring myself to finish getting footage for it. See, there's a problem with making videos about VR that I've grappled with for a little over a year now. And while I've made the best of my shitty situation, I can't make another video about VR without addressing an issue with pretty much every VR title that's come out in the last 4 years. This video will serve a few purposes. Firstly, it's to beg current and future VR developers to throw people like me, people who want to show VR to the world, a bone. Second, I want to shine a light on how much work people like Thrillseeker and Haybee put into their videos. And lastly, I want to offer constructive suggestions, instead of shitting all over indie VR devs who already have the odds stacked against them. In my opinion, the greatest obstacle that VR faces right now is accessibility. Sure, Meta is trying their darndest to get the Quest 2 into the hands of every man, woman, and child with a Facebook account, but I personally don't think that strategy will be enough to get VR into the mainstream. Nowadays, people like to go on their fancy little handheld computers and look up reviews and first-hand testimonies for products they're interested in. If, for example, one was interested in a new game, one might hop on over to YouTube and look up a review from their most trusted YouTuber, or watch a playthrough for a bit to see if the game is for them. Unfortunately, while pancake gamers have this luxury, with thousands of videos at their pudgy little fingertips just waiting to be viewed, anyone interested in VR without prior VR experience could be greeted to something that looks like this when they look into a VR title that caught their eye. To put some things into perspective, let's take a look at a game that is enjoyable in and out of VR. The Forest is fucking incredible. It looks incredible, sounds incredible, and feels incredible. If a pancake gamer wanted to show this incredible game to others, all they would have to do is crank up the settings a bit, plug a controller in, and hit Alt F10 after a few seconds of panning from one side of a gorgeous vista to another. Boom, bam, bop. You just got yourself some pretty footage to upload onto YouTube, son. Go throw it in iMovie, maybe add a few transitions between clips, and prepare your body for the shower of accolades, views, and viewer interaction that your expert cinematography so rightfully garners. Oh, what's that? You want to show people the VR port? Okay, here goes nothing. Yeah, for some reason, VR devs love to make the default window that pops up on your desktop while you play their VR title look like shit. And I'm not talking neat little cow pie long dried by the Midwestern sun, I'm talking post-lactose intolerant Baskin-Robbins trip shit. There are reasons that the desktop window for VR looks bad. VR can be rough to run, especially on lower-end PCs. Because of this, by default, most VR games simply duplicate the video feed being sent to the left eye of your VR headset and slap it onto your desktop. For the average VR gamer, this is perfectly fine. You'll be in your headset, experiencing the game the way the developers intended. Issues arise when you try to show others the game you're enjoying so much without the ability to simply slap the headset on their heads. VR is very much something you have to experience firsthand to get, and very much so not something you can experience by passively spectating. When I used my friend's Oculus Rift, and eventually my own, in a social setting, we would hand the headset back and forth every 2 or 3 levels of Beat Saber. This was fun, ignoring having to deal with each other's sweat gradually collecting in the spongy foam interface the original Rift rocked, because the experience was fresh in my mind as I watched him make his way through his songs. Eventually, as more people wanted to take a spin in our headsets, we improved the spectator experience. I moved my TV next to the PC and mirrored the desktop window onto the second screen. Back then, we were enamored with the relatively new technology, and we were blissfully unaware of just how poor the spectator experience really was thanks to the wild undulations of our friends as they sliced digital cube after digital cube. The default windows that VR games offer are poor representations of what the player sees in their headset. Usually, the field of view is practically half of what you see in the HMD, and the resolution is a poor fit for a 1080p screen. There are ways to make the desktop view look better, and in turn ways to capture better footage for a video about VR, but the amount of hoops one has to jump through compared to a flat screen game is disheartening. Before I get into issues and solutions, I should lay out what standards should be met for an enjoyable VR viewing experience. First, your footage needs to be locked at 60 FPS. You look around a lot in VR, it's kind of its whole shtick, and these quick sweeping motions look pretty awful at 30 FPS. Second, you need to try to get the field of view as high as you can without too much distortion. We're not quite talking Quake here, think more CSGO or Siege. Third, and relatively optional, is stabilization. Our heads make minute jerky movements that can be distracting in VR footage, even when our view in the headset looks perfectly still. So far, there are really only two ways to get good footage for the VR games you'd want to make videos about. If you're lucky, the developers give you native solutions. Some throw in simple fixes like a desktop window with a higher field of view and some stabilization, while others go above and beyond, offering multiple options to tweak the desktop view to suit your needs. Alternatively, the aspiring VR filmmaker can pursue more convoluted solutions. Oculus users have access to an application hidden away that mirrors what you see in your headset. The stock settings offer you a marginally better view than the average game's desktop window, but after a little tinkering and a lot of Googling, one might just stumble onto a half-decent representation of the footage sent to the headset. Similarly, the Steam VR mirror allows the player to display the footage being sent to their left or right eye, even going so far as to offer a combination of both that boasts a halfway decent field of view. So far, you can either count on the devs taking some of their already limited time and resources and offering VR video makers tools to make VR videos, or you can jump through various hoops and do it yourself. On paper, it might sound like I'm bitching about a problem that already has multiple solutions, but before you make fun of me, let's dive a bit deeper. Let's take a look at the Steam VR mirror first, a tool available to every PC VR headset on the market. It offers a decent amount of customization, allowing you to display your right or left eye's view, while offering an optional version for each that incorporates some of the opposite eye's view. These options are better looking, with a higher field of view than most games' default windows. Unfortunately, due to either a bug or a justifiable marketing strategy, only Steam VR headsets are able to display the Steam VR mirror in 60 frames per second. As an Oculus Rift user, I am only able to display my footage at half my headset's refresh rate, which isn't ideal for flat screen or VR games. Additionally, the wider field of view afforded comes at a cost. When the two separate eyes are combined, objects a certain distance from the headset are cut in half. Since the Quest 2 is now the most popular headset on the market, this means that a majority of PC VR users cannot get the most out of the Steam VR mirror. So, the Index, Vive, and maybe some of the other Microsoft headsets can rely on the passable viewer experience the Steam VR mirror provides. Oculus users have to look elsewhere. The Oculus mirror is like the red-headed stepchild of the Oculus family. It's perfectly functioning, and I've come to appreciate its customization and flexibility over the years. Okay, I might be stretching this analogy a little thin. Anyways, with a little work on your part and the part of random strangers on the internet, you can get a decent mirror of the footage being displayed on your headset. Of course, nothing is easy when it comes to capturing VR footage. There are a few hiccups in the way you can use the Oculus mirror. Firstly, the generally accepted line of commands you put into the mirror to get it to look halfway decent comes with a few caveats. These little numbers here represent the field of view that the mirror displays. Some games jive with these numbers, others do not. What I've gathered from my own experience is that an extended horizontal field of view is no problemo. It's the extension of the y-axis that really pisses off some games. It seems that games made with the Oculus SDK support higher horizontal fields of view, and the rest of PC VR titles do not. This might not sound like too big of an issue, seeing as more and more games are getting sucked into the Oculus ecosystem nowadays, but it is an issue for older PC VR titles. Popular titles like Skyrim and Fallout 4 VR, which already offer horrible desktop windows, are crippled further by the lower field of view. So Oculus users have a partial solution. They can go with wider horizontal fields of view, but for some games they simply cannot handle a wider vertical field of view. Boom, problem solved. You have options now. So everything is fine, and we can go about our business gathering footage as much as our little hearts desire, right? Left. Wait, no, wrong. These mirrors have one large drawback that many systems will run into. For mid to lower end VR rigs, any and all extra resources that are taken away by, say, Discord, Spotify, or even a tab or two of Google open in the background can be the difference between a smooth and choppy VR experience. So, what is the solution? Ideally, VR games should have native, better-looking optional desktop windows. Let's take a look at a few games that already do. In my opinion, Blade and Sorcery is the golden standard for PC VR desktop views. Yeah, it has the bog standard footage straight from your left eye, but it also has a much better looking option with adjustable field of view, stabilization, and a centered view. It even goes above and beyond its already great offerings by providing a free cam and a camera that can be locked to objects or people. Half-Life Alyx has a decent amount of customization as well. You have two options for field of view, one with a high zoom and one with a low. The high zoom setting also comes with optional stabilization, which in turn has 3 levels. The low zoom offers a better field of view and not much else. Still, when I record footage for Half-Life Alyx, I go with the low zoom, no stabilization. I have a stiff neck, so really it's a win-win for everyone. The most depressing part of this whole struggle is that both indie and AAA devs are shooting themselves in the foot. The easier it is to show their game off, the more likely people will want to play it. YouTubers like Thrillseeker and Haby147, and really any VR YouTubers with a consistent upload schedule, are having to deal with these obstacles every time they upload. So hey, VR developers of the future, if you somehow see this video and stick around long enough to hear this part of it, thanks for making VR games. I really like VR games. Oh yeah, and give us a better desktop window, maybe? Thanks.